Welcome to my craft table. Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. I'm going to be using a different color paper just for a change of pace, but let's get started. Okay, for this stamp set, we are using Christmas Gleaming. I'm just going to be using this stamp and the sentiments. Okay, I have a piece of paper. It's Whisper White, which is 3 1/4 by 2 3/4 piece. I think this is I've forgotten I cut it earlier. I've forgotten Bermuda Bay. And this is 3 inches by 3 1/2 inches. I have another piece which is 3 3/4 by 5, and a piece which is 5 1/4 by 4. And then my card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, let's stamp this piece first and get that out of the way. We're going to be using the Memento ink. I don't need these punches for this one, so let's get them out of the way. And bring in this punch. And I'm going to stamp it down here like that. Okay, I'm going to bring in the sentiment. Make sure it's correct side up. Make sure there's nothing on it. Go ahead and stamp it right here. Okay. Put that aside and let it dry. I'm going to bring in this piece. And the holly, and I'm going to just stamp all over the background of this. Stamping off the page, turn it just want to fill the whole thing. Basically, I'm creating my own designer series paper. This particular one, I'm not overlapping anything. Oops, that one didn't come out very well. Let's see if we can get it lined up. I don't know if I'll be able to. So let's just stamp another one right here. Okay. Alright. Now this is going to get attached to our larger Coastal Cabana layer. You can use the wet glue or you can use the snail, whichever you're more comfortable with. I like using the wet glue because it gives me just a tiny bit of room to wiggle it in case I don't get it in the right spot. I'm going to go ahead and mount that onto here. And this part that I boo-booed, I'm going to put up at the top, then it'll be less likely to be noticed because we'll be putting ribbon. Oh. So. Whoops, stuff's falling off my desk. Some of the black baker's twine over it. Okay, we're going to do that part right now. We're going to bring in the baker's twine. I'll lay it over the card. We're going to wrap it around 3 times. I'm going to leave ourselves enough so we can tie a bow. And we're going to wrap it around underneath them all. Tie a little bit of a knot. And I'm going to tie my bow. Adjust those tails. Now I can adjust it, move it up all the way to the top, spread out those so then just adjust it. Okay, and we'll set that aside. We're done with that for now. Now we're going to bring in this piece, and I'm going to bring in a couple of blends. I have the Old Olives and Light Cherry Cobblers and Pool Parties. Let's go ahead and do the coloring. I'm going to take the dark Old Olive, and I'm going to just color up the stems of each one of these. And around the base here where it's got the berries overlapping. Okay, and I'm going to come in with the light. I'm going to just color in the whole rest of the leaf. Go ahead and color right over the top of the darker one. It helps blend it out just a little bit. The darker color will still show. And I tend to do like a swirling motion. It just kind of helps to blend it out a little bit. Okay, now you'll notice the bottom of this leaf didn't stamp too well. You can take any black marker. I'm going to use my Copic multi-liner because it's alcohol ink friendly. And I'm just going to draw that in, just so that it doesn't look quite so noticeable. There you go. Okay, now for the berries, I'm going to take the dark cherry cobbler. I'm going to make a little exaggerated C on each one of these berries. And then I'm going to take the lighter color and fill in the entire berry. Okay. Now, so it's not just floating in the middle of air, I'm going to take the 2 pool parties. I'm going to start with the darker, and I'm going to trace all the way around. I'm going to go right up to the edge. It's alright if you leave a little bit of space, it will blend or bleed into it. And I'm going to come in with the lighter, and I'm going to do the swirly over the top of the edge of that, the lighter. Just come out just a little bit farther. It will bleed out. Lighter colors tend to bleach out or bleed out the darker colors. If it needs a little bit more work, just go over it again. Okay, then I'm going to come in with the color lifter, and I'm going to do the same thing. Overlap that lighter color just a little bit. And I'm just going to soften that edge. Okay. Now I'm going to mount this piece onto this one. Alright, I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. One in each corner. One in the center. Take those backs off. And if I press into the center there, it does two things. It makes that dimensional, make sure it's stuck to my card, and it also lifts up the corners so it's easier to take those backings off. Okay, I'm going to bring in my card base. I'm going to place this over here. I need to adjust my ribbon a little bit. Over on this side. There we go. Bring that ribbon back down so it's... And then the finishing touch, I've got some of the basic rhinestones and the black Stampin' Blend, and I just colored a couple rhinestones. They dry very fast, but if you want them darker, just let it dry and then come back and add another layer on top. Okay, and I just put a couple rhinestones scattered throughout. Oops, that one didn't stick. There we go. There's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a little bit of fun playing and making some cards today.